What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the All Around. I'm your gracious host, Dr. Anthony. Please tune in on Mondays at 6 p.m. for your entertainment purposes. We will hit current topics, old topics, and everything else in between. Be there or be square. Deuces, my loves. Hi. Welcome to another great episode of the All Around. I am your gracious host, Dr. Anthony, and we have some amazing topics that we're going to discuss tonight. And so make sure you tune in and click like and share so we can get those shares out and those views up. And without further ado, let's go ahead and bring out the Miss Beautiful Ida Bullock. Make sure you check out her webpage at idabullock.com. Make sure you check out her what's your other thing?
Now, just let these people come in this room. Come on in the room. Like country folks say, come on in the room. Yeah, let these people come on in the room. They ain't got time. Next time, I'm going to start. Let's get with it, boo. Let's get with it.
Okay, let's get with it. All right, so I've been seeing, trending Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. And so, they did a South Park episode of them on the World Privacy Tour. And so they were saying that they were upset about the Privacy Tour cartoon and that they were going to sue, but their spokesperson said it's just, foolish banter and is silly and things like that. But of course, the Daily Mail and all of her haters are trying to make something more out of it than what it really is. Mm-hmm. So, and I also saw where her sister is trying to sue her for $75,000 and trying to make demands to say that the future King Charles is not prejudiced and the Queen is not prejudiced and she needs to apologize. But I'm just like, the damn audacity of this woman. Like, why the hell are they continue to give her a platform? And she's like, she's suing Meghan for defamation. So she said all this stuff about Meghan, but Meghan can't respond and say nothing to her about her. And I'm just like, the Karen, that's that Karen stuff, the audacity of her to, say, all this derogatory things about her in terms of her little sister. And she's like, Meghan is, not saying the correct things in terms of, their father, and that she's not the only child, but she is the only child. You know what I'm saying? She is her mother and her father's only child. So yes, she is the only child. And she didn't say that she didn't have siblings. She said she was brought up as if she was the only child, just like me. I was brought up as if I was the only child because I'm my parents' only child. Although I have two different sets of siblings, I'm still my parents' only child.
So what you trying to say?
Girl, I'm spoiled is all outdoors, but I was still brought up as if I was the only child because I was the baby of, my mom's side for forever. My sister and I are 10 years apart, and I'm the oldest on my dad's side. So, I was basically like I was the only child in the house because I am my parents' only child, although I have two sets of siblings.
Mm-hmm. So what you trying to say?
So what I'm trying to say is her sister Samantha's points are baseless, and it's not rooted in no type of foundation. I think she's just being, what she is, a Karen, and she's trying to seek, the limelight, and she's trying to seek money from her because they also stated like her brother is not working and she's not helping him out. I mean, but at the same time, she doesn't really have a relationship with them, and it's not her responsibility to take care of them as they are older than she is. So I'm just, flabbergasted at the assumption that she's supposed to take her hard-earned money and dish it out to them to take care of them. Where they do that at? Make it make sense. Mm-hmm. I'm not understanding it.
Well, first of all, I think for me, I think when I think of her, I think of Wendy Williams' brother. Then I think of Art Kelly brother. When you are a sibling of a multi-millionaire, Oprah have siblings. I think Tyler Perry have siblings. A couple of weeks ago was on the news one of these, I think he was a basketball player, but he was some type of athlete
Mm-hmm.
in which the mother had passed away, and the sister was living in the house and was taking care of the mother. The mother had passed a year, so he now wants to sell the house, and they started dragging him for the filth. And so I think I always use biblical teaching for the foolery and the
Mm-hmm.
uffery. When people think of using the term, am I my brother's keeper? Now, in the Bible actually said, honor thy mother and father. At the end of the day, I think we have a true, sincere obligation to our parents once they
Mm-hmm.
become elderly. I think my father right now is sick, and wasn't as smart with money, don't have a lot of money. He's 85. So it's 11 of us. My mother married a man that has 7 kids. So every week, one of my brother, who is like the caretaker, my mother's there, we pays for his care. Guess how much is the care a week for all of us?
How much?
12, $13 a week.
Are you
Sometimes
serious?
we have siblings that won't pay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, wow, wow, wow. And so some of my friends will say, some of my family will, well, do you think that's right? I said, first of all, you can't guilt someone to do right. You can't
Mm-hmm.
burden them, nor can you put an obligation. Now, Megan's sister have taken her 5 minutes of fame and keep splicing it together. This is now
Mm-hmm.
not the second or the third time that she tried to sue them. And could you imagine, T, you are only relevant to people because of your DNA.
Right.
And you know who have done it well without throwing shade constantly? Beyonce's baby sister is constantly being compared. So could you imagine living in the shadow of a gifted family member? And and even Kelly Rowland, which they be trying to say that's her secret sister,
Mm-hmm.
she constantly have to deal with. But could you I came in a couple of years ago. I had a family member that came into a large sum of money.
Mm-hmm.
And I put that under lottery winners. That's why when a lot of people come into wealth, they don't tell people.
Exactly. Because people feel like that they're old, but my thing is, you wasn't there when I had to grind. You wasn't there in the struggle. You wasn't there in any of that stuff. I made it because I made it, because I pushed through, because I did this stuff. Not because you helped me, not because when I was in need you gave me things or you supplied me with stuff, because you didn't. You wanted to see me fail. You prayed against my demise, but I pushed through and I survived anyway. So now that I'm successful and I'm doing whatever I'm doing, now you want to take credit. Or if I get, let's just say I win the lottery tonight. I win the lottery, now you expect me to break you off. It doesn't work like that. I'm gonna be there for those who were there for me, and that's just how it is. Bottom line.
Because we still have to we still have but like I said, I don't think nobody owes me nothing. Unless I'm a disabled person in the state who owes me, then it's the government. The government then says Ida is in an incapacitate. I'm part of a VA group, and they had this young man on there, and he said, my parents have died and my brother have Down syndrome, so will he continue to get care? And some people like, no, and then they said, well, he is actually classified the government as a helpless adult, and that meaning we almost use the word incompetent. And so the VA by default, the government can see we have to continue to buy some health care and some benefit to people. And thinking about people obligation, I was watching a video and I'm trying to find it to send. Is in Baltimore, and where the young lady is saying that the city of Baltimore, the education system have failed her son.
No, she failed her son.
And so she breaks it off with two. So people, I'm just here for the comments. And so some people were saying, so she was saying she had even requested that they hold her child back because he cannot read or write. And he's in the 4th grade. But as she was standing there, and she's in the project, She's on welfare. And so you remember it was a video a couple of years ago, and this woman had 18 kids, and she said somebody needed help her take care of these kids. And so she said she told them to hold her son back, and they then begin to break out the narrative of Baltimore County. They have these annual testings of a certain age group, and they said they didn't have one child in that county that passed a proficiency for the math, not one. So where do you go from there? Where do you go from there when you is the government your brother's keeper? How much obligation do you think the government has to their citizens, their tax-paying citizens? Also, the citizens that don't pay tax, you know, and I laugh about it. Black people and white people, poor people, they use GoFundMe as life insurance now. So what is your spin on that?
So my thing with the whole educational system, education starts at home. So we have to look at her. What did you do to prepare your child to go into the kindergarten, pre-K, and things like that? So when your child comes to school, your child should already be able to read. So when oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Say who? Say who, Harpo? Who say that, Harpo? Who?
I'm just telling you what the research says. So your child should already be able to read. Your child should have a vocabulary of at least about 4,000 words in kindergarten. So as I stated, the learning starts at home. What did you teach your child when he was at home? What did you teach your child when she was at home? Because the only thing that we do as educators, we piggyback off of what you have started in the home, and we carry that from grade to grade to grade to grade, you know? So yes, your child is deficient, and yes, your child does not know how to read, but what did you do at home? Did you sit with your child and do homework when we send homework? Did you sit with your child and go over sight words when we ask you to go over sight words? Did you do any of this stuff with your child? So you cannot blame the government or the educational system for your lack of parenting and your lack of doing what you need to do for your child. For example, there's also this big push about giving children homework. They don't want us to give children homework. So the whole point of homework is an extension of what goes on in the school day. I'm not saying, bombard your child with, homework that lasts until 9-10 o'clock at night. No, I'm not saying that, but you give children a few problems, a passage to read, or whatever it is that your child is doing for homework as an extension of what they learned in the school day. But when are you sitting down with your child to go over his homework? When are you sitting down with your child to go over their math problems? When did you go over the basis of math? Because the basis of math is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. You got to learn that before you can get into algebra, geometry, and all of that stuff. When did you go over this stuff with your child? For example, and I tell people this all the time, when my nephews turned 2 years old, I gave them 5 words that they had to learn per day. And I gave it to them on index cards. And so when we did the colors, what I did, I wrote out the word, colored it in the same color. So if it's blue, it was written in blue, and it had something on there in blue. So we did this every day until they learned words. So the learning starts at home. So my nephew now, he's a straight A student, and he's 7 years old. He's getting accolades. He's getting this. And this is the same stuff that I've done with all of my nieces and nephews ever since they were born. So learning starts at home. What did you do as a parent to teach your child? You can fault the school system all you want, but at the end of the day, this is your responsibility to make sure your child sits at home and read every day. It is your responsibility as a parent to make sure your child sits at home and complete their homework. Now, a lot of parents are faulting the school because they're lazy, they're inept, and they don't want to spend that time with their children and, making sure that their children are reading, because half the time they can't even read them damn selves. So you're going to sit there and push it off on me as an educator or as educators and say that we're not teaching your child. No, we're teaching your child 9 times out of 10, when it's in low income, poverty stricken areas, the children are so damn bad that we spend most of the time disciplining the child. And then when we call home, we get cursed out, we get hung up on, and they tell us, don't call us no goddamn mo. He's in your school, he's in your class, so you deal with him. So how are we supposed to manage that? How are we supposed to instruct and educate children when we're dealing with discipline management every day? So no, it's not the educator's fault. It is your fault as a parent, because you're not handling your business as a parent.
Well, here's the video. And so
roll the video.
I got it. Mark, don't play this one. I just sent the other one. The reality of it, I agree with you, like you said, to a point. I think if, as you as the parent don't have a true understanding of education, I know some people that put their education totally on the school. Even
that's what they thought.
Getting that, you know, I have had some of my friends moved out of a district because they wanted their children to excel in a certain program. And so, but see, she's saying, well, I'm on welfare. You know, somebody got to help me. And it's a school fault, because I keep telling them, hold him back. But then as I was watching in the video, the young boy had on designer things from head to toe.
And that's the problem right there.
When she came on there, she would look like Shaquita, snotting up and crying and going crazy. And so, yeah.
And the thing about it is, your crocodile tears doesn't bother me, because you as a parent, you are failing your child. What are you doing to make sure that your child is reading? What are you doing to make sure that your child is doing math? You're not doing anything. You're solely faulting the educators, and you're solely faulting the school. And that's what the problem is.
And what do you think about the child being present as the mother is demeaning the child, telling the child, now I'm teaching my child that it's never going to be your fault. It's always going to be external. It's never going, because at some point, you know, like I said, you know, I'm not in the education system, but do your child have a learning disability? You know, you pick up reading just from watching TV. It's so much interactive stuff that you can learn. So, but, you know, like I said, you know, it's unfortunate that you got pockets of certain states and county and community that our Black children and brown children are going to suffer. But whose fault is that?
It's the parents' fault.
Wow.
Because like I said, so let's look at this equation. 1/3 of it is the teacher. 1/3 of it is the parent. 1/3 of it is the student. The parent and the student outweigh the teacher. So at some point, when are they going to accept responsibility and accountability as to their part in the whole educational system? Because all we can do is do what we do. We show up every day, deliver lessons, you know, we teach the kids, we try to show them, we model, we do all of these things. We can't go home with your child to make sure that your child is doing homework. We can't go home with your child to make sure that your child is reading every day. These are certain things that you should be doing with your child. Reading 20 minutes a day with your child, doing math every day, you know, flashcards, all of that stuff. Every day. This is stuff that you're supposed to be doing as an adult with your child. Even when I was teaching my nephews multiplication facts, we did it on paper, but I also played the song for them so that they can learn it. 1 × 1 is 1. 1 × 2 is 2. So we going over these repetitions. We're doing all of this stuff, and they listened, they saw, and I quizzed them every day. But that was the responsibility of us as the adults. So they're solely placing the blame on the educator when they're not doing anything at home to support their child. And you can't fault the educator when you're not stepping up as a parent. All right, so the video is cute. Let's go ahead and watch the video.
Let's watch this bean footage.
A stunning report from Project Baltimore showing the situation in some Baltimore City schools is dire.
Now, usually our Project Baltimore report comes in a little later in our newscast, but tonight we need to bring your attention to this report.
It's because it shows 23 city schools have 0 students who tested proficient on the state math exam. 2,000 students in total took this math test at these schools, and not one did math at a grade level.
Listen to those numbers. Where is the bell ringing for some type of like crisis moment? My God.
This isn't a red siren. I don't know
God.
what is to say. This isn't working. We need to completely redo this.
Fox 45 News is demanding answers about that report from state and local leaders. Our team coverage begins with Project Baltimore and a mother calling on someone to fix city schools.
As Chris Papps explains, this mother says major changes need to happen now or she's leaving.
Oh,
Nothing up there for them. Nothing. They go there to get babysit for 8 hours and come home.
Nichelle Watkins is exhausted.
I feel like they don't care. It's not their children. They don't care.
After years of pleading for help from Baltimore City Public Schools.
Look around. I'm in public housing. I can't afford no $1,000 tutor from Sylvan, but that's what he needs. A tutor. How was your school day?
Pretty good.
Her son is in 4th grade at Johnston Square Elementary. For years, she says she's been trying to get the school system to hold her son back, give him time to learn the material, instead of just pushing him through the grades. 5 months ago, in October, she even wrote Project Baltimore asking for help, saying her son is not getting the education he needs.
He can't read. He's in the 4th grade. How is he supposed to be productive if he can't read?
Baltimore City is facing a devastating reality as
Then, Watkins saw this Project Baltimore story Monday night, confirming what she already knew.
When I seen the name Johnston Square on there, I knew what I was doing and what I was saying was absolutely correct.
Project Baltimore combed through the 2022 state test results known as MCAP, Maryland Comprehensive Assessment Program. Every Maryland student is tested in 3rd through 8th grade, and once again in high school in both math and English. Scores place the students in one of 4 levels. Levels 1 and 2 are considered not proficient. 3 and 4 are proficient. We found in 23 Baltimore City schools, there were 0 students who tested proficient in math. Not a single student. And on that list, Johnston Square.
I wasn't surprised. It needs to be something done today. Yeah, they get a whole lot of money, and it's coming out my check. I see it.
Baltimore City funds nearly 20% of city schools. This year, that amount hit $309 million. So Project Baltimore sent an email to every city council member and Mayor Brandon Scott. We asked, who do you hold accountable for these concerning test results? What steps will you take as an elected leader to address these low scores and improve student outcomes? And will you ask for further investigation to determine why so many schools have so few students proficient in math? Councilman Eric Costello quickly replied, saying he was dismayed by our findings, adding, "This is not the performance that we expect for Baltimore's children." Costello also explained that City Council has virtually no control over the schools, saying the council can do very little when it comes to school performance and can't even withhold funds.
That we invest in them now.
As for the mayor, we didn't receive a reply.
As a mother of children who go to one of these 23 schools, do you want to hear from the mayor?
okay.
But at the same time, what are you doing to support your child? You sit at home all day. So when your child come home, you don't help him read? You don't help him do his homework? So you're solely placing the education of your child on the school system.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I think now, not throwing shade at you, I think you're very strong in this area because you're an educator. I have helped tutor people, but my dismay came, the child had on designer clothes from head to toe. Anybody that have ever had a tutor, children actually tutor other kids from $10 an hour to $20 an hour. So once, I think the unfortunate part, sometime in our own community, we latch on a problem that we know we can't solve, but that is a solvable problem. Like you said, one of my nephew had a learning disability. I will get him all of these technology, because he got this technology to see how to help him learn. So, but at this point, she's adamant that it's someone else's fault. And that have probably been,
and that's the problem. And herein lies
that
the
have
problem.
been, and so, and you go up this trickle effect up the tree, and you see the media, what I dislike about the media said, now let me find the most incredible story. And people was in the actual comment, Phil, actually 80% of them agreed with you. They said, that's her fault. That's her child, not the county, not the state. That's her child. And you and I know it's a correlation between education and crime. We know it's a correlation. When you don't have a viable skill set, in 5 years, 8 years, when we come back and see where that young man is, now you and I know, not your situation, I don't know about your situation, but my father never knew how to read. He had a 3rd grade education, but he learned to cut hair, cut grass. So he had skill sets that he had to survive. And so can someone survive in this time and age and can't read and write? Absolutely. Do I believe it's people out here that can't read and write? I struggle with that, because you got technology that teach us now. He might not can understand words, but he has a comprehension. So let's talk about the backlash with Sierra.
Hold on one second before we go there. I'm gonna use for most of you guys, y'all know I'm an educator. I'm certified K-12, and I can also teach college. Pre-K, I'm certified from pre-K all the way up to 12th grade, and I can teach college. So for the past 2 years, I've been in high school. Prior to me going to high school, I left middle school and went to elementary. So I had a child in 3rd grade, and I started communicating with the parent on what she needed to do with her child in terms of reading and how she can support me to help her child become a better reader. So every morning in my class, before we even got started, they had to get a container, and I had different levels of containers with sight words. So they had to go over their sight words every day for 15, 20 minutes, every day when they're eating breakfast, going over sight words. So her child thought it was very elementary that she did not want to do the sight words, and she did not want to do the things that I told her to do. So in 3rd grade, she would not do the sight words. So all the other kids that practiced those sight words and did those reading strategies that I told them to do, all those kids scored proficient and advanced on their test. She below basic. Okay. So moving forward to 5th grade, when I had her again in 5th grade, parent tried to blame me for her child not being able to read. So
get out.
Yeah. And a Hispanic parent. So like I told the woman, your child is an L2, which is a 2nd language learner. So your child needs to practice the English language, because the English language is one of the hardest languages to learn, because, we have words that are spelled the same that are pronounced different, record, for example. So I was telling her, and again, giving the child the sight words. Child thought it was elementary. Parent thought it was elementary. Didn't want to do it. So her child struggled with reading, and her child did not read very well because she did not take the advice that I gave her in how to perform and to, get herself to the next level when it came to reading.
She didn't take the expert advice.
Exactly. I had 124 students that I taught in the 5th grade that particular year. Only 13 of my kids did not make gains. And you know why those 13 kids did not make gains? And she was one of them, because they did not do what I told them to do. They did not practice those sight words. They did not go home and read like I told them to do. They did not do any of the reading strategies that I put forth and I taught them. They didn't do any of that stuff. So they did not make gains. All the other kids who did what I told them to do, their parents listened, they made gains.
Well, they didn't have to do it because the parents told them they didn't have to. Like, as you give the story, how this is very elementary. So what? So what if it, and so like, what do they talk about from 1 to 9 is the formidable age of the brain developing and learning. And if you don't have a certain type of foundation established, by the time you get to middle school, it's just too late. You're just not going to.
Pretty much. It can be corrected, but it takes time to correct that. Another example, I had a student in the 5th grade that couldn't even write his own name, couldn't spell his own name, could not recognize the alphabets letters in the alphabet. He could when we tested him, he could only recognize maybe like 10 letters out of the whole 26 alphabet. So I started doing things, you know, trying to teach him those skills that he missed. Guess what? He thought it was very, very elementary. He didn't want to do it. And so he stopped doing the things that I told him to do. So guess what? He suffered, tried to make contact with the parents, try to do all of this and tell the parent, this is what I'm doing. I need your support to help your child. Nothing. Crickets. So they can't sit there and say that we're not doing our job. We're doing our jobs. Y'all just don't support. So you can't sit there and say that you're going to blame the educator. No, you're not going to blame the educator, not on my watch, because I know for a fact that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. But when we contact those parents, crickets, get nothing. Another little kid. I asked his parent, I asked his mom, I said, won't you come up? Let me, give you some strategies to work with your child, to work with him, to teach him how to read. Nothing. But she gonna write me a note saying that they're gonna be gone for a week so he could go play football. What good is him playing football if he can't read? Crickets. Then he emails me the next year when he gets to 6th grade. Oh, Dr. Anthony, I should have listened. I should have done what you said. I should have did this. I should have did that. Nah, it's too late now. You know what I'm saying? Because I was trying to work with you. I was trying to teach you all these skills. I was trying and willing, and I was gonna stay after school to work with him. Crickets. So when they sitting there saying that they blaming the educator, nah, you're not going to blame the educator on my watch, because it's not happening. Because what are you doing at home? You're not doing anything. Like you said, you're in public housing. You don't have a job. So you're sitting at home. What are you doing with your child when he comes at home after school? Are you reading with your child? Are you doing math? Are you going over this stuff with your child? Not one time did she acknowledge the fact that she was doing any of this stuff with her child. So no, this is your fault. This is not the school fault.
All righty then. Clap back.
And just for the record, when it comes to low-income schools, they have tutors set up for those children. So if she really wanted her child to get a tutor, all she had to do is request it from the school, because they have tutors set up, because they have after-school programs for those children so that they can work with teachers and educators after-school program. So I don't know where she getting, I got to pay Sylvan this amount of money and this, that, and other, because the schools provide tutoring for children, especially in low-income schools.
But your child is the greatest investment that you're ever going to have. And you're never going to have someone under you from 1 to 18. But I think at this point, we can see where the writing is going to go. And I'm going to try to continue to follow up, see what the outcome of that and different stuff. So
we can definitely
So we're talking about your twin. You know, quite often people have said you look like Ciara, and I love myself some Ciara. Oh my God, I'm still trying to do level up by my inner thighs. These can't be the same thighs and knees that was doing a percolator. So Ciara have just came out with this new song. And she's telling all of us that we need to be independent. We don't need a man. Now you over there married to probably the highest paid NFL player in the league right now, living in a multi-millionaire. And don't forget when she did the Justin Timberlake TGJ cry me. She cried on TV how she put in a prayer to God, send her a husband to help her take care of her, because she realized she ain't like being a single parent. She was traumatized. So she's receiving a lot of backlash. Because how dare
But it's just entertainment. You know, I'm just
no, ma'am, no. Mark wrote that bean footage. She tried to side with her twin, and I'm not having it. No, ma'am.
We gonna side with my twin.
No, we will not. Mark, you got the video?
Just for other girls on a mission like me. Just for other girls on a mission like me.
We trying to live up to this hot girl, city girl. And our leaders are in love. These is their whole relationships. These is teaching us how to hop on and off, steal money from us while they sleep. And they over here living happily ever after.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Celebrity Media Gossip. And today, we're going to be talking about Ciara and her new song. So before we get into this video, make sure you smash that like button. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe with post notifications turned on. Now, it seems like fans is upset with Ciara after she dropped a snippet of her new song, stating that This is for the females that don't need a man. Meanwhile, she's married to a football player husband that's a millionaire, that has 2 kids by her, and she has 1 by Future. Now, one fan stated, "Ciara, please stop this now. We're tired of being independent. We want a life like yours. Please stop promoting this type of music when you going straight home to get loved on." And she's absolutely right. A lot of these artists, male and female, promote the complete opposite of what their life really like. For instance, the city girls. They sell y'all this fantasy of go out there and get whatever y'all could get from these men. Y'all don't need a man. Y'all need to stay single. Get them for all they got. Meanwhile, y'all sitting at home lonely while they booed up in a full-time relationship. Young Miami is with P. Diddy living her best life, right? All booed up. Even though he playing her to the left, she just one other female that's on his roster. Then you got JT, which is all booed up with Little Uzi. But let's take it back to Ciara. One of her fans said, "This is for the girls who don't need a man." Meanwhile, you have a whole husband that's worth millions. Your worth with him equal billions. Stop pushing this toxic narrative in our communities. Push generational wealth. Woman, don't listen to Ciara on this one. Other races are raising their girls to be wives, while the community is raising girls to be independent. Show me the equivalent of white or Hispanic singers singing about being independent. Meanwhile, Ciara has a millionaire husband and 3 kids. So it seems like the fans is waking up slowly but surely. They not here for Ciara's fake woman empowerment. But let me know what y'all think down below in that comment section. But in my own opinion, I think Ciara should change the narrative of her music and she'll be just fine. Until then, if she keep making the same type of music, independent woman, single woman, she gonna keep getting the same results and the fans is gonna keep dragging her. But before we get up out of here, let's listen to what Ciara had to say on her new song.
This is for the girls get money. This is for the girls that don't need no man. This is for the girls that's in love with yourself. This is for all the girls that done did it by themselves. This is for all the girls that's INDEPENDENT. This is for all the girls that be living stress free. This is for all the girls on a mission like me. This is for all the girls on a mission like me.
On a mission like you married. Ciara, if you don't sit your bored, attention-seeking, misleading woman ass down some damn where, the government needs black women single. Because when y'all are single, y'all spend more money than any other group in America. They want you single.
We trying to live up to this hot girl, city girl, and our leaders are in love. These is their whole relationships. These is teaching us how to hop on and off, steal money from while they sleep, and they over here living happily ever after. We keep standing at the bottom of the steps waiting for Megan and City Girls to drop more songs with more instructions on how to fuck our lives up. These is rich and in love, and we broken single. You want us to be hot girls, but y'all having a Ciara summer.
So now that y'all seen that and heard that, stroll down to that comment section. Tell me what y'all think about this crazy situation. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, do me a favor. Make sure you subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss any new videos.
Again, entertainment purposes only.
Nah.
No. It's entertainment purposes only. If you over there sitting there listening to, okay, because Beyonce did Single Ladies, you know what I'm saying? If you over there sitting there listening to somebody telling you to be independent, do this, do that, and this, that, and other, you weak-minded, and you need to be weak-minded, and you need to be in that situation that your ass is in. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what you're saying. No, I don't know what you're saying.
Entertainment purposes only. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if you want to be in a relationship, you can be in a relationship. Let me
make my Monique face.
Go ahead.
First of all, this is not her lane. This is not her lane. She got back on the map when she made the song Level Up. Level Up was talking about her getting the man, her getting the prayer, her putting the scrubs behind. Now, I just think it was a bad marketing move. Beyonce, if you like it so much, put a ring on, then she got that ring, she partnered. And the way I totally disagree with you. You got certain people that have total impact and influence on the Black community, and music and entertainment.
And I'm not negating it.
No, I gave you the gavel. I don't have to get a gavel for you.
I need it back.
Ma'am. And I'm a little disappointed in Ciara. I like, because think about it. You know, she's an entertainer. Her thing is to make great music so people can dance to. But I think you got to realize where she effed up. She made level up. She then went on a whole circuit tour promoting that on The View, on Oprah, all of that. So what she did, she magnified and said, this is the standard, lady. Now you're going to come back. See, Megan Thee Stallion can sing that. Cardi B, Cardi B talks about how they hustle. And like they say, these people are married up to millionaires. I think for Ciara, once again, I look at you. You are an educator. Certain things that you constantly promote pro-Black and stuff. If you went out right now and married a white man after all your conversation, people be mad at you. They'll be mad at you because that's not the brand that you have supported. And music is just not music in our Black community. You know that, T. You know that. I'm not
yet, but I mean,
no. I'm done with you.
No,
it's my guy
because
I done turned into what's that big loudmouth girl? Kaya, no, Madison Court. I'll have to come with a gavel because you were playing. Mark, you should have came in and helped your girl because you know she wrong. Mark, you see Mark.
I am not wrong.
Any other time, Mark run up on the show to say, "Okay, give my." You see, Mark don't want none of this. You don't want none of this.
He don't want none because he already know.
You stay on in the back.
Okay, but okay, now. So you can't be out here talking about INDPEND. You can't be out here doing all this. And then when she make a song, then you get mad because she made a song. But the whole time, y'all out here screaming about y'all don't need a man. Y'all don't need this. Y'all making stacks because we didn't. I don't know about y'all, but we the niggas with money. I don't know about y'all, but I'm the niggas with money. Saying all this stuff and things like that. Now that she made a song about being independent, now you mad. You can't have it both ways. It's either you're gonna be independent or you gonna follow that narrative that you don't need no man. Or you
won the other debate, but you would have lost that one. You got double zeros on that.
No, I didn't because I look at TikTok all the time. I be watching TikTok all throughout the night because I be up all night.
That's another story.
I be up all night watching TikTok. And what I'm seeing on these videos is the women saying that they're independent and they don't need a man. You know what I'm saying? But I never claimed to be independent and I don't need no man. I am independent, but I still need a man. I still want a man. You know what I'm saying? But you can't have it both ways. That's all I'm saying. You can't have it both ways. You can't be in one capacity saying that you're independent over here and you don't need a man. And then when she makes the song about independent women being independent on top of your stuff, on top of your game, doing this, doing that, and you don't need no man, then you get mad. You know what I'm saying?
It's hypocrisy.
But I still want a man.
She became almost a billionaire off a level of she and Russell went on tours about that prayer that they sent to Jesus and Moses and no man. So and once we put you in that category, the Michael Jordan, Obama, Beyonce, she is in a 1% category that she needs to stay in because that is a tribute to her. She made a whole brand. She rebranded herself.
Well, she should have came out with Independent before she came out with Level Up.
But Dr. Anthony, what about that whole song that Beyonce did about wanting a ring? Because everybody was hanging around. They wanted a ring. They wanted that ring. They wanted that ring now. And sometimes they didn't even give the brother a chance to get to know the woman.
She didn't make Independent Women until after Jay-Z proposed her. You should have put a ring on it.
And she came out when she got that ring, came out with Lemonade and Becky. When you are entertainer, and like I said, I put very few people are entertainers. You got us, you got an elite set aside group of entertainers that we really follow. They're like the holy grail of, oh my God, they're doing something. They're woke. And when Beyonce got cheated on, she said, okay, y'all gonna pay for this shit, Lemonade. Y'all gonna pay for. They went on tour, and I just think she was one awful. And I like Ciara. She should be dragged. She was dragged, and she's gonna continue to be dragged because it's trash. Go ahead,
That's
Mark.
because you think it's trash in the other way. Y'all can't have it both ways. Y'all can't be claiming I'm independent over here, and then when she make a song about the independent women, then y'all get mad.
No. She telling you to stay independent. When she tried to go and get Budo, she was on The View crying me. She was crying. The prayer, I pray to God, don't let me.
Women are saying that's what they want.
Dr. Anthony, I gotta teach you because there's a bunch of people of all cultures that are all over TikTok singing about what they want or don't want or how they want it in the daily life. I'm beginning to think it's like the new version of the best singles bar out there is these TikTok videos, because they're all over the place and there are people out there, including some very professional women that are now in the single lanes that are making all of these videos saying what they want or don't want. And sometimes they might be a little bit unrealistic. Like I said before, sometimes they dismiss the blue collar brothers or the brothers that are don't have the actual right car or whatever they think is the right car. And sometimes they are passing by things that might be good things for them, but there is some little bit of an attitude going on with some sisters, not saying all, but some that are maybe have set their standards much higher than they need to be. And I'll just put it that way.
Megan Good and Devin Franklin made a whole career out of being celibate, getting married. And the danger of you taking your brand and shifting it from your fan base. Once your fan base move and you make money, just like we'll talk about how Adidas thought they didn't need Kanye, took him from a millionaire to a billionaire. Now they had to beg him back last week to take him back. And so it can be, I think, from a marketing point, a marketing genius. Like I said, you got people that once people say, oh, this is what they like. Think about you and I. If we go on TikTok and we start seeing a certain narrative about Black women, certain stuff, and once we stay there and we become millions, we get views from that, it's hard to come out of that lane. People don't want you to come out of that seat. Mark, thank you for helping me because she be getting out. Mark,
but I'm not negating that. But I'm not negating that. What I'm saying,
gonna have a gavel next week for you because you are out of control.
What I'm saying is there are a group of women who are singing these songs about their independent. They don't need a man. They don't need this. They don't need that. And she made a song to cater to them. Just like Beyonce, her whole Renaissance album catered to, the trannies and that era or whatever, just like that. But that's what I'm saying. If that's what you want, more power to it. If that's not what you're about, then there's no need to shame her. She made it for a particular group of women. Just like we tell them white folks. Everything is not always about you. Everything is not for you. So this is one of those songs that's not for you. I didn't say I am independent, but I never claimed that I don't need a man. I do need a man, but I'm still independent, and I'm going to continue to be independent. But I still want a man. I still want a relationship. I still want to be in a relationship. You can have your independency. You don't have to just be codependent.
But she said she didn't like being independent. And like I said, Sierra, you got to realize if she had not made Level Up in certain things and she still make music, I think she's the Chris Brown of dance. I think she's talented. But I just think she was one off on that. She's my girl. And this is the thing. Should we be dragged and accountable when our fan base say, hey, I didn't think that was you, Dr. A. Is that you? That's what you're doing?
And that's the thing. People are multifaceted, and yes, she came out with Level Up. Now she's coming out with this. People are multifaceted. We're holding one part of her, accountable. When she made the Level Up, when she wanted the husband, she got the husband. So she is answering a call to a different group of people that say that they're independent. Now, there are a lot of women that say they're independent and they don't need a man. If this is not applying to you, then don't take it to heart. It's not for you. The song was not for you.
We have to stop directing our Black community to trash. This is trash, T, and I'm going to send you a trash dollar. I'm going to send you some Monopoly money. This is trash. I always say,
it's entertainment.
That's why your cousin got 20 more years last week.
And I'm mad about that because I'm still going to be saying free R. Kelly. You already know.
Let me
if he got 20 years, he can have 20. The parents need to have 20 years. I refuse. 20 years. Everybody needs to have 20 years. He should not be the only one that's sitting behind bars for 20 years. And like he said, it wasn't a problem until the money started running out. When the money started running out, then it was a problem then,
It was a problem. See, you going to hell for that. You going to the VIP lounge of hell for that statement right there.
No, ma'am. But then y'all got to think about your creepy ass children, your creepy ass son that be trying to touch on your daughter and your cousin.
I'm so glad it's 7 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock. Didn't you say
it's not 7 o'clock? We got a whole 10 minutes. And your creepy ass uncle that be trying to touch you behind your back and your creepy ass whatever. You know, y'all have a problem with that. And the dang on creepy ass ministers that's molesting folks in the church. You know, y'all don't have a problem with that, but y'all want to send R. Kelly to jail for 20 years. So let's hold everybody accountable.
Mark, please, do we have something else we could redirect her attention to?
Let's hold everybody. All I'm saying is hold everyone accountable. You know,
when you got the money, you don't have to be accountable. So that's the moral of the story. You have money, you do whatever you want.
And that's what he said. When the money was rolling in, they ain't had no problem with it. So now he wants. And I read in an article, he wants the parents arrested as well. Everybody, to me, everybody should be
going to hell for that. You and Art Kelly are going to, well, he's already in jail. So
no, they all need to be, because they all, you know, the thing about it is they all played a role and they all played a hand.
I do agree.
But my thing is, you know, y'all sending R. Kelly to jail, but y'all ain't sending them white men to jail that marry these 12-year-olds.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, you know, my thing is what's good for the goose is good for the gander. But, you know, they over there, they're benefiting from it, because if the parents say at 12 years old that he can marry my child, then it's legal. And y'all need to look it up. And it's legal in about 13, 14 states in the U.S. So if y'all want to condemn R. Kelly, condemn these white folks as well that's over here getting these 12-year-old child brides.
Mark, what be taking you so long, Mark?
Question for you. What about Nasser, the tennis coach, and those folks that are in some of the Catholic churches? So I can't say that they're not going after some of the people that are in other cultures, because they have definitely been going after.
That was, you know, those are,
tennis coach
to be honest with you, those were like isolated incidents.
Gymnast coach that also abused Simone Biles and other folks.
Yeah, those were like isolated incidents, because if you look, no, they were isolated, because if you look at it, Matt Lauer didn't go to jail. They got Harry Weinstein, but you know, a lot of other people. What's the man who married his stepdaughter? He didn't go to jail.
Woody Allen.
You know, there's a whole bunch of them out there that did not go to jail. And because, you know, these white folks condone this stuff because they some sick ass, and that's what they do. So they're not pressing the issue. You know, even with Epstein, when he was found dead in his jail, they killed that man because he had a lot of information on a lot of people who were doing a lot of dirty stuff. You know, so it's not anything new that these people are, you know, messing with these children over in the UK. These people are, you know, putting in documentation that it's okay for, you know, 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-olds to consent, that, you know, they can consent to have sex and things like that. So my thing is, if you're gonna want to hold R. Kelly accountable, you need to hold everyone accountable, not just R. Kelly because he's black or what, and he messed with 17 and 18-year-olds, but you need to hold these white folks accountable who are marrying these 11 and 12-year-olds, and they're calling it legal. Sex trafficking didn't start in the black community. Sex trafficking started in the white community. These white men were taking trips over to these different countries and trafficking these young girls and going back to their wives and things like that when they were over there with these other girls in Brazil, in all of these countries, in those brothels, sleeping with these young girls. So let's just start there. That's where sex trafficking began.
A lot of the sex trafficking in the black community
was part of slavery. There's no doubt about that. That was straight up sex trafficking. And
then
there's also been an injustice in the prison system forever, because like I said, they can get away with all kinds of crime. I look at like the cocaine versus crack epidemic. Both of them were problematic, and it's like who gets the access to the lawyers and can actually
but
get.
The thing about it is, what did Nancy Reagan tell us? What did Nancy Reagan tell us? She told us to just say no. So tell them, just say no. When it comes to them opioids and them prescription drugs, just say no. That's what they told us. And then they send our asses to jail, but they go to rehab.
Mark, I thought you came over here to help me. I thought you. Mark, I'm done with you too. I thought you came on here to help.
I haven't been on a triad in I've been good for the past couple of shows, Ida. I've been good.
Mark, I thought you came to help me because you're from Carolina.
We got that Carolina.
I'm gonna rebuke you too, Mark. I'm rebuking you in the name of whatever community of my child.
Hey, Ida, don't be rebuking folks, because if you go rebuke folks, we could go there too, because and I know that some of them church folks have been acting real wrong in real good places and all of that.
Oh,
yeah. We got some church abuse going on as well.
And
it's not just their churches; it's some of our churches too that'll sing one song and do another thing altogether. And we don't even want to talk about what some of our churches aren't doing to help our community. So there's some churches that are giving lip service and lies, but they're not actually helping old folks. I can tell you that there are probably, I'm in Hayti, which is why y'all hear the drums in the background, but around the corner from me, there is a tent city. And I know for a fact that within probably 4 blocks of that tent city is at least 10 churches. And how many of those churches have gone and done anything with that tent city? And those 10 cities are all over. I know that they're up there in the DC area. I know that they're down here, and they're all near churches that could be helping these folks. I mean, not doing anything if they decide to sleep on the porch isn't really doing anything. I mean, they got to really do some real action and not just give it lip service and lies.
Well, we got to talk about
putting them in homes.
Well, we got to figure out when the church lost it, the black church lost its opportunity with our community. But I always say now, church folks are the worst folks.
Oh, of course, definitely.
Hey, well, they used to tell me that if you wanted to get into a good relationship, find yourself a good church woman. But then I've also heard that could be one of the worst mistakes ever as well, because some people tell me that there's more drama going on in that single space, whether you're 60 or 30, than you might want to handle and all of that. So I'm not saying that there's not some good women in churches, but there's some that got some drama in the churches as well.
It's drama everywhere, Mark. It's drama everywhere. I'm just leave it.
Yeah, that's all. Like I said, I think when people think of church now, they think of Cleflo. They said, and there's a whole discussion next time we talk. Joe Olsen annual salary pay himself is $54 million, and the government listed these people's salaries and different stuff, and different stuff. So yeah, okay.
Well, the church is a business. It's a nonprofit. It operates under 501c3. So it is a business. And people have to understand that it is a business at the end of the day. So they're going to do what they have to do to protect their interests and protect, what's going on inside the church. And I always tell people to, keep your personal matters out of the church when it comes to certain things. Some of those people are not equipped to be a mental health counselor. And so you can't put you can't lay your mental health issues out on your arm, on your sleeve, and expect to get the results that you are warranted and the outcome that you need. You have to go to a trained professional counselor. And I tell people all the time, and I have this conversation with my father, you need to go to a trained professional counselor.
Not the Holy Spirit or the Shana or play that.
In terms of, mental health, because if this person has a traumatic breakdown from something they have said, you have to be able to handle that. You have to be able to control that person and move in the way that person needs you to move. And if you're evoking these feelings and evoking this trauma and you can't control it, then you have done a disservice to that person. So I tell people all the time, don't let the church be your first outlet when you go into counseling. You can go to your church and you can get pastoral counseling, but when it comes to certain things, you need to go to a trained professional who is licensed and trained in that area to help you.
And not trained in Deuteronomy and Ecclesiastes. You're right.
What you got to realize, I know we wind it down, but I also got to tease y'all because there have been a couple of times that I have gone and dated a couple of those church women and everything. And if I hear another prophet swear up and down that this is the best thing since sliced bread, when I'm not even sure that they're real prophets and everything, then I might just have to start laughing and crying.
But yet they can't prophesy about the church molesting people, taking money, but they could prophesy, but Beyonce is a witch and they come. And so I think, the thing with the black church 80 years ago was all we had. It was our hospital, it was our doctor, it was our lawyer. They were our Harriet Tubman of everything. And then we realized the water was corrupt. I'm not going to use like Trump said, drain the swamp, and they became corrupt. And I think the greatest offense, I agree with Dr. A, is when you have people with clear mental health issues coming in the church, and the church take advantage of that. Let me give you a prayer. You got someone in full schism and they in bipolar, and they saying they are caught up in the third heaven. That's why I just watch church on TV line now, because I don't want to fight.
Along those same lines, you got some churches that are giving contradictory information about divorce. Because I got some friends that have got divorced in the church, and some of them, the women were treated one way, the man were treated another. I'll just put it at that. Then I'll just leave it at that.
Where you look in the Bible where they want to stone the woman for laying up with the man? Jesus said, well, where bro? Jesus said, well, where's bro? Well, y'all got her out here. So we know the church falls short and stuff, but the church, unfortunately, have been used as another form to manipulate the Black community. We got the government manipulating us. We got the church manipulating us. Now we got social media missing. And so I think it's very hard for us to stay woke. I think it's hard for us to stay woke because we have all these forces going against us every day. Even Dr. A have the education system going. You got all these forces that going against you. And I think that's why people just check out and smoke blunts and get high and do whatever. And they say, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't smoke blunts though.
No, I don't either. But this has been another great episode. And, I like the commentary. I like dialoguing with you guys. We always converse on different topics. Y'all typically don't agree with me, but that's
never.
Okay. That's okay. Because Dr. Anthony is going to always say Dr. Anthony. Dr. Anthony is always going to stay firm to her word.
Dr. Anthony thinks she's Florida. Stand your grounds. Wherever she do, she stands her ground.
I'm going to stand my ground.
I'm not going to be afraid. She's not going to bend or sway because of our attitudes and belief systems. But yes, there are some things that I agree with both you, Dr. Anthony, and some I agree with Ida on, but there's some other things that got to be corrected, as Ida just said, in our communities. But sometimes, we don't want to correct ourselves, and sometimes we don't even want to have those hard conversations that have to be had. We want to sweep them underneath the rug. So, Dr. Anthony, I appreciate you on Pod TV having those hard conversations, and folks hopefully are listening and are taking it back to their own environments and their own situations, because they are much needed conversations, whether it's here or whether it's some of our expatriates that have decided to get the hell out of Dodge and move to another part of the world, because sometimes they bring those issues even if they move to Bali or Dubai or wherever else they might move to. So definitely you are bringing some much needed conversation, and I for one appreciate it. So just wanted to share.
Thank you so much. So I want to tell everybody, make sure you click like and share so we can get those views up and get those follows. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in to another great episode of the All Around, and we will see you back here on next Monday, March 6th, with Coach Ida B, Mark Lee, producer, and of course myself, Dr. Anthony. Gotta love Ida. That's my sister, y'all. We argue like cats and dogs on here, but that's my sister. I love her to death.
Oh yeah, y'all give great chemistry and have great conversations. But right now, like you said, we're out of here.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the All Around. I'm your gracious host, Dr. Anthony. Please tune in on Mondays at 6 p.m. for your entertainment purposes. We will hit current topics, old topics, and everything else in between. Be there or be square. Deuces, my loves.